beware the Ides of March, cry havoc and let slip the dogs of war. Or maybe just take it easy on the couch, but watch your back. This is The Week That Was. I'm Juliette Televi, my co-host is Simon Brown, and joining us as we romp through the week are Assassin Securities' David Shapiro and Vestac's Bright Khumalo. It is, of course, the day that Brutus stabbed Caesar in the back.
Don't you remember Wayne and Schuster? When the wife, Julie's wife, said, "Don't go, Julie, I'm telling you, don't go." Did you never know that skit?
Always bringing it down a notch, David.
Wonderful skit happening at the forum, yeah. Markets okay.
Okay, here's my fun fact for the week.
Yeah.
I got two, but my first one. Inflation, 3.2. June last year, inflation, 3. It's not going down.
PPI, yeah.
It's not PPI, just CPI, just normal bog standard CPI.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't matter. I think
it did a few months ago.
We make such a fuss around it, and with this 2% target. In the meantime, the American economy is continuing. It's people are getting jobs, people are spending. Yes, it's slowing down, perhaps at ground level, at Main Street and so on. But there's nothing.
Retail sales are flying, so Main Street is also doing well.
Can someone then talk us through, the fear mongering that took place around? Oh, we're going to head into a recession.
Maybe you can tell us more about that as journalists.
It was the people we interviewed.
I go through the numbers. I go through the results that are coming out. We're coming to the end. Yeah. They're incredible. I mean, if you go through American companies, they're in hugely good shape. Plenty of money. Very few of them are under pressure. There's no real complaint about inflation. I think on the housing side, yes, because people are not renewing their mortgage bonds. They're dead scared. They had long-term ones at very low rates. So if you sell your house, you go for a new one. You have to renegotiate at a higher rate. But I don't see stress. And if you ignore the noise, if you ignore the inflation noise, and you just look at what's happening in the U.S. economy, it's encouraging.
What's very interesting is that last year you saw a number of companies that beat their earnings, quarterly earnings. They were about 89, 88%. We're seeing that number. Sorry, it was lower than that. Now we're seeing so far it's 86 to 88%, and that number might increase. And as you look at the rally also year to date, it's much more broader. It's now beyond the Magnificent Seven. So it's now a much bigger rally. It's not just a tech rally.
And just very briefly on the JSE, I felt like it was kind of one step forward, one step back this week, and some big and quite pronounced moves, and then they'd be undone the next day.
It's a lot of steps back. If you really go through the numbers, if you go through the results, there are a lot of warning signs. Even looking at Standard Bank, the headlines are shouting, Africa. When you go through there, 66% I saw of their headline earnings have come from South Africa, which went backwards.
Yeah. And there's the rebalancing of the FTSE today. Did you see which companies are taking the beating?
Anglo and Mondi.
Basically, it's mostly basic materials.
Yeah, that's the harmonization process. I know far too much about that. Also making news this week, we have the election lists, and they're not pretty. Kate photobombs, the internet breaks, and TikTok has a big US fight on its hands. The EFF can't do math so good. We Buy Cars is coming to a brokerage near you. Hyprop has a Pick and Pay problem. Growthpoint apparently doesn't. And Eskom might finally be getting some competition 26 years after experts first suggested it. But first, the worst ever SEO non-deal has finally been called off. And can we just say here, thank goodness the charade is over.
Cabinet supported the termination of SAA partnership with Takazo. This follows almost 3 years of negotiations and talks between Takazo and the Takazo consortium and government. With a public asset, government had to prioritize the fair value and the public interest and ensure that the public interest is served. SAA assets are now worth far more than they were during the COVID-19 pandemic when Takazo was selected as the preferred bidder. SAA will continue to operate as a government-owned entity and is in a position to continue to operate in its current form for the short to medium term.
She's right. I mean, it's worth a lot more than during a pandemic. So now do they just cut it free and let it go, or should I quickly spend my Voyager miles?
Spend all of them quickly.
I mean, worth a lot more.
Well, relative,
losses, yeah.
worth more than $51 or whatever it was, 12 Rand or something.
You know what worries me? We talk about PP, these private partnerships. They're never going to happen. PPE. They'll never happen because all along the way there's going to be political interference. We're never going to get telecom. Even your energy, there's going to be lots of obstacles to actually
And the ones that actually have worked are on a smaller scales, building of hospitals by trusted individuals that have done it in the past. That has worked. But I'm trying to think beyond hospitals. I can't see
just
anything.
don't want to give up control.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just do not want to let it go. And that is a big worry. What happens to SAA? I have no idea.
Well, exactly. I mean, Pravin Gordhan, who is now going to be out of
Way
politics, says there will be no further bailouts.
Oh, yes.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean,
Take you at
that's,
your word.
Well, from him,
I'm sure
he
one
would be
leg.
there.
He's got one foot on the banana peel and the other on politics.
beach.
So yeah.
but it's an extremely competitive environment.
Yeah.
And you need money. You need plenty of money. And I don't know. Anyway, we just carry on.
But how much do you want to bet? I've got $1,000. I say there will be some company being saved by the government.
Oh, yeah. They're going to bail something. They've got 700 plus SEOs. There's always one to save.
Exactly. So can you put a timeline on it?
Forget AI. We'll soon be going back to carrier pigeons and typewriters if Seacom can't mend its cables. And if you didn't think your life was controlled by Microsoft, at least now you know better. In fact, Bryce, I think you tweeted yesterday, let's all just go home.
No, we did. It was Puzo Thursdays. I mean, I was getting one email an hour. That was driving me nuts.
Because I don't use any Microsoft, it turns out.
But also Yahoo was down. It was like
Yahoo.
Some
Yeah, but that's because
Microsoft
Yahoo's
was down.
still in the 90s.
And then Gmail wasn't working either. So even if you worked on Gmail, you'd be the only one working. So I was like, let me go home.
What does everyone make of this a break in the internet?
4 cables. Apparently 4 undersea cables.
But what happened? Was there some trawler there fishing? Or what happened? How does a cable break? And 4 of them break at the same time.
Yeah, so they break from...
Is it the Russians?
They break from so it's usually like dragging anchors and stuff like that.
that's what
But
I'm
to your point, they're underwater, and this is not some fish trying to eat them or something. Russians, yeah, maybe.
No, conspiracy theories, come on.
I'm a little bit more concerned, though, about our reliance on Microsoft. So everyone's joined the cloud, but then an event like this happens, and it essentially stops business.
No. Business should stop every once in a while. I like Microsoft. Buy your Microsoft shares, buy Outlook 360, whatever you call it. Yeah, every once in a while we'll get a free holiday. What the hell?
I thought you were just saying business must whip him hard, and look, I'm with you.
Exactly.
Nothing when my problem is, I see, I have a home cloud.
We work too hard in this country, man.
You
We
have
do.
home cloud.
Yes.
I think that's debatable.
No. Us people who work, we work very hard.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
the politicians, but yes.
Okay.
And not all the bankers. If there's one company that has had a mauling at the hands of Angry Bob this week, it was Old Mutual. Clearly that post about not getting paid out hit one hell of a nerve.
It's concerning. It's not pleasing to watch or see or hear, for sure, deeply concerning to us as Old Mutual, to hear the experiences of some of our customers. It is not the standard that we hold ourselves to. And as we did state on our post as well on X, that we deeply regret and we deeply apologize to customers who have been dissatisfied with the service that they receive from us.
It's not good enough.
No.
The fact that you have to go to social media and get a social media storm. So my wife is currently fighting with medical aid, and you don't fight with my wife because she reads the small print. The medical aid is wrong. It's just fundamentally wrong.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I mean, she's going to have to go, I don't know how she wins it, because they just keep on saying, oh, no, et cetera, et cetera. It's just
Social
nonsense.
media, she wins it.
And my wife has less followers than...
No,
than
you have
she-
followers.
But sometimes just concede. These people, I mean, for the amount involved, concede, give them. I know I read an article this morning, it was very complicated, it involved a divorce and maybe paying out to the wrong person, whatever it is. Say so.
Yeah.
Say so. This is our problem. We have to resolve this. But
They have come out and said so, but
now,
maybe now.
No,
it's
but
too
now
late.
the issue
storm
is that
gone.
the issue now with social media is that yes, that might be the main case or whatever, that one that got the the popularity it deserves or whatever. But there's a million other cases
There's a million
now that
others.
have
It's
popped
the
out,
other people.
Yeah.
especially on on the burial side of things, and that insurance. It's just crazy. And people with video evidence of what actually happened when they went into those offices reminds me of that company in Sandton where the lady came with human defecation and spread it across the offices because they wouldn't pay. And
But
eventually
because that's
they
what
paid.
you get down to.
It was the same story. I think it's the same company actually.
Yeah. And how many times can you sort of stake a claim?
I mean, this is the sort of the fundamental problem for any company seeking endless growth,
Yeah.
is that you have to be able to back it up with service.
Not just that, but I think here what happens is maybe you write business that you shouldn't write also
I don't-
because you're so greedy.
Yeah, and you don't explain things properly.
Yeah.
The vast number of people who buy these policies are not, I don't want to say not educated, they're not experienced in financial conditions. And it's
That's
binary.
different.
I was actually speaking to Catherine Child. I said it's binary. When you come to compliance, there's no room for reasonableness. So it's either tick the box or not. And most people don't understand that in life.
And it's actually not
When
just the bulk of financially unsavvy people,
Yeah.
you could say. It's even those who consider themselves financially savvy.
Yeah.
Trying to understand a
I
policy
have
is
a lovely
almost
story.
impossible.
I have a lovely story, and I told Catherine this as well. We had to prove in loading an account or doing one of these issues, we had to prove we needed a death certificate of a person who died in the 1930s. Try get it. And until we could get it, we couldn't progress. So what happened, the person involved, whom we were asking all these questions, went to the Braamfontein Cemetery, took a picture of the tombstone and said, here, is this proof of death,
And was it?
Well, what I'm trying to say is that's the kind of frustration.
Yeah.
What do you do? We could not progress until we proved a death certificate. I mean, 1930.
And very quickly, over in the US, maybe its lawmakers are finally about to save humanity from itself. We're talking about a bill that would force the separation of TikTok from Chinese-owned ByteDance over national security concerns. Do you think this is a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, for me, it's a great thing. I mean, I'm long Meta, so.
Oh, no, but it's terrible. I'm now a TikTok influencer. This is
Wait,
horrible.
but
Followers.
what's that guy that there's a financier, Scaramucci is trying
Scaramucci,
Yes, he's going to
yes.
save you. He's trying to get Americans to buy ByteDance, so he's working on a consortium.
But this whole thing is a
finance
scam. If American lawmakers are worried about an individual data going to China, which they probably should be, should they not make a bill which protects user data rather than targeting just China? Because Meta is stealing as much data.
No. But then I have to stand on.
'Cause you
US
own
side.
Meta.
No. Leave Meta alone now. How many of the US companies can actually operate in China?
None.
Exactly. So tit for tat. So please don't even get me started.
I like the Chinese TikToks. They're funny.
Oi. After the break, all the week's company news, and if you want to chuck it in and count penguins, we have the job for you.